Hello and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox, and today we are continuing with the Bubble and Silver Do Decks series once again. And once again, me and Silver are joined by our special guest, Vulcan from Vulcan HD Gaming. Hello, Vulcan.
Hello.
And if, of course, you're interested in Wargame, which you must be if you're watching this video in any of the Wargame series, please do check out Vulcan's channel. He plays Wargame a lot. He puts a lot of Wargame content on his channel, as well as lots of other RTS type and turn-based games as well. So please check out his channel. But today we're going to have a look at the Czechoslovakian decks before we head off into some games. And we're going to start off, of course, as we always do, with the logistics and with Silver.
Thank you. So, Fob, usual. Moving on to the command vehicle, which is I got the T-72 M1K because it also has HE power of 4.
Whoa, he's on his tanks again. Okay, good.
Yeah, the 4 HE power.
It's also got pretty decent front armor, but yeah. With tanks, my philosophy is that you take the cost of the tank, subtract 100 from it for its command status, and that's the actual cost of that tank. And I bought 60 points for those stats. They're all right.
An unusual way of looking at it, but okay, yeah. I understand what you're saying, but it's when you're going to use that HE power anyway. You know, you don't really want...
It's for defense in case the infantry are trying to cross the forest or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, also just having the extra armor is really useful.
Yeah. And what else?
For supply, I've got the 2 stacks of Kolos for the supply trucks.
Yeah, same as me. Vulcan, what have you got a bit different than that in your deck?
I have the command infantry as ever in the MI4Ts. Just again, versatility. Put them in sectors that can otherwise be like spotted if you have like a command armor or something. Counter capping sectors, stuff like that. For my resupply, I also have the Colossus. Only 1 card of them. So I have like and I also have the VSOT 64AR2, just so I have another like mobile armored command unit.
Oh, okay,
and,
right.
You know, again, has the almost 50 kilometer per hour amphibious speed.
Yeah.
So I have those alongside my infantry, and I can pretty much hold on to most sectors pretty easily.
Yeah, I've got the. I've only got 1 command, and I have actually got those VSOC 64ARs again for the same kind of regions. They're also amphibious as well, so yeah, I like them. I've got 2 Colossus and a fob. That's my logistics. So moving on to the infantry. Vulcan, what have you got for your infantry today?
Well, to start off, I have the Conquers M squad. I think the Czech are the only Eastern Bloc nation that can get the Conquers M over the normal Conquers.
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely worth having a card of those because
I have a card of those.
Yeah,
Me too,
they're pretty decent. And I'm bringing those in the OT64C, which actually has its own HGM, but that's just so that I can use that elsewhere, I guess, once I've dropped them off into a building.
Okay.
I guess I could bring them in the OT62As, like just have like the 5-point troop carriers, but I just
That's
like...
what I got them.
Yeah, I like getting them there quicker.
The only problem with those ATGM missiles on those trucks is that they're fairly inaccurate, and you don't get very many Conquerors M, so you can't really spam them. So the only thing is really going for it is the autocannon, I think.
Yeah. It's I just like having... You may as well have the OT64C over the OT64A anyway, because you get an HGM for free.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then I have the Panzerov Nisi. These are the 10-point like Lancashire equivalent. Again, like they're only 5-man squads. They're like the SPG-9Ds in the East Germans. They have the HE power, so they can shoot at infantry with their RPGs. They have 17 AP power, which isn't actually too bad at all.
Yeah.
And they're just great for like helping an assault onto a town, or for even defending a town against like those pesky APCs that often sit there and do more damage than the actual infantry does because they're suppressed.
The problem I have with those is that they have relatively short range for their usage.
Yeah, that's the only trouble with these. Is the 700 meter range. It's less than the normal 875 meter range that you would expect.
Right.
But they make up for it in accuracy, I think.
Yeah, true.
Cool.
Then I have the Granatomet AGS 17s.
Yeah, I preferred these over the other fire support because of the frag grenade range and the fact that they stun everything, including vehicles.
Yeah, I like these, but the reason I have both is because one actually can deal with APCs much better. The Granatomets, I'd bring in like one of each if I was going to be like an assaulting a town.
Right.
Behind like a regular infantry squad, because they both provide like a decent amount of fire support. The grenade launchers are just great. A 1,225 meter range is actually pretty incredible, especially for an infantry squad. They can sit right back and actually do quite a lot of damage, so that's always really useful.
Yep.
Then I have the Leka Pehota and
the light rifleman squad.
Yeah. They are like 10-point shock infantry for 20 points. They have a crap, absolutely awful AT weapon, but
that's meant for APCs trying to approach a villain.
That's made up for by their their VZ-25 and the CQC RPK. With they have the 30% accuracy and the 30% stabilizer for 20 points, which is really, really good. And just in general, these would be what would be in front of my Panzerov Nisi and the Granatomets.
Okay.
Very good for assaulting a town. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I have those in the OT-64Cs as well, because you may as well get a free A to gem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is that all you're in? You must have something else, yeah?
I have one more. I have the Fizekari 90s.
Oh, okay.
In the MI8Ts, and these would be for like early pushes and for like flanking stuff, and basically just having a card of a really good infantry in helicopters, so that I have that versatility there if I need it.
Yeah, cool. Silver, anything a bit different than that?
Well, I do have the Conquer Zams and the frag grenades fire support. I do have Leka Petotas and the OT-64As, but he is making a point. There is really no difference other than the fact that they have an ATGM on the 64Cs. So
you're allowed to swap them out. You're allowed to swap them out if you want.
What about you?
I'm not swapping nothing out. I don't need to.
Alright, well I'll swap them out for the OT-64C.
Okay.
I also got Yivis and Dari 90s in MI-17s, with their incredible rocket pods. And the reason why I have these regular infantry is their 24 AP power. These are like my backup in case I do have that stupid player who sends in a heavy armored tank into a city. I could take that out relatively quickly with one of these, and then leave the rest of my infantry to fight regular infantry and APCs, which is what I think infantry were designed for.
Okay. Well, I've got some different... yeah, go ahead.
I do have one more. My main supplemental army is the Motostrelk C 10-point infantry. I got 26 of them with the OT-62B with their recoilless rifle, so I can kind of generally just spam these to hold a front line, basically.
Okay, right. I've got a mixture as well. I've got the Motostrelkies, I've got the Visandrakis, or however you pronounce that, the Conkers, and I've got two lots of actually the, how do you pronounce that? Visandakris, one in MI8s and one in OT-64Cs with that lovely Malyutka rocket. And I've also got some Strela 3s as well, just to supplement my AA in MI8Ts. But I've got my infantry, my Motostrelkers, in these OT-62 Vidra 2s. I don't know whether you noticed them. I quite like these things. They've got 1,750 range against ground units, and can shoot at helicopters as well at 1,575, which is why I kind of quite like them. And they've got a bit of armor as well.
Yeah,
So
30 mm autocannon.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just like having a recoilless rifle for
Yeah.
mine.
I got
No,
my
I take all the wheeled vehicles because I love the mobility.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I like the Vidras because I just think they're very strong units for 15 points. I got my Conkers in those as well. Yeah, it's the only real difference. So on to the support, I think.
Yep.
And it's Silver. Off you go. What you got?
Well, I'll start off with the artillery since I only have one, and it's the Ondavas, the better version of the Danas from the Polish deck. These are really good artillery.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree. No, almost a must-have on this deck.
Yeah. Then for anti-air, I've got the Strop 2s because those are very good. Not radar at all, which I absolutely love, and very good range against helicopters in all regards, missiles and anti-helicopter gun.
I have loved the Strops since European escalation. they are so quick, it's ridiculous. They can catch out helicopters so easily. They move so quickly.
I've also got the PLRKs for extra AA missiles for helicopters, and then I've also got the Cubs right behind them.
Yeah, I've got 2 cards of Cub M4s and a card of Strela 10Ms.
Yeah, you got the M4s, have you? Or the Cub M's, Silver?
I've got the M4s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've got the M4s as well.
All right, I think is that all yours? I think that's all yours, isn't it, Silver? Yeah.
Yep.
What have you got extra?
Mine's basically the same. Strop 2 on Dava, 2 cards of Cub M4s and the Strela 10Ms.
Yeah, my AA is pretty much the same. I've got the, well, is this the same? Cubs, Strops, and the PLRKs. I've got the Ondavas, and yes, I've got some RM70s as well. Just throw them into the mix for a bit of rocket power. And moving on, I think that was a quick one. On to the tanks, Vulcan. What do you got in your tank section this time?
I have the T-72 M2 Moderna.
The best tank of the Eastern Bloc, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Heavy armor, auto-cannoned with its main gun. What's not to love about this tank?
I think the Twadi is actually better, in my opinion. But the main gun is very, very, very powerful. 55% accuracy could be better, but 23 AP power and 21 front armor as well is actually ridiculous.
And it has an autocannon too.
Yeah,
for infantry
autocannon is really useful, and it rotates on its own axis, so it has. It's not like the MBT-70. It can actually use that autocannon really effectively.
Yeah.
It's quite a nippy thing as well. It does have 70 kilometers per hour speed.
This is a real assault tank. I mean, this can just plow forward and basically shoot everything that gets in its way, including the odd helicopter. I think it's just an awesome weapon to move forward.
Didn't we have a lot of trouble with the Moderna bubble in our American game?
Gosh, I can't remember. After about individual game, I honestly can't remember.
I think one Moderna managed to keep us from crossing the bridge on straight to the point for so long.
Possibly. Yeah,
that would be. Yeah, it's definitely a good tank as long as it doesn't get outranged by ATGMs, which is its biggest weakness.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What else have you got?
I have the T-72Ss. I think they're like the best sort of next level tank that you can get.
I got a card of them as well.
Same.
Yeah. Just 2,275 meter range still with 50% accurate gun. Just a great tank all round, and also has an ATGM. So yeah, really, really good. Then I have the T-72 M1M down from that.
Me too.
Again, ATGM. The gun is, I think, pretty much the same as the T-72S, only drops a couple of AP power.
But still an HE4 power.
Yeah, you literally, all you drop from the T-72S, which is 135 points, to the T-72 M1M, which is 95 points, is 2 AP power on the main gun. and 3 armor in the front armor. That is literally it. So really cost-effective tank.
Yeah, and it's got a spotlight, which is really cool. Any others? He's got an eye.
Then I have the T-72s for infantry support. I was tempted to say the T-72Ms because they're more cost-effective, but I like having the as cheap as possible 4 HE power. Really, really useful. And then, as well as that, I actually have the T-55As. Now, the reason I have the T-55As is because they are like a quite decent spam tank because they have the machine gun that can really, affect infantry quite badly. With the 7, front armor, like we were saying before in the other video about like the Centurions. The reason that they're brought in is because they have the really strong front armor and they can take on infantry squads really well. Sure. And it still has 3 HE power, so if you don't want to go as far as spending money on the T-72, you can bring in a couple of T-55As instead, and you get 6 HE power for the price of 4 because you're counting up to like 50 points for 2 55As or 2 T-55As instead of 1 T-72 at the end of the day.
Cool. Silver, I think you've just about got exactly the same, haven't you?
Yeah. Except I don't have the T-55A.
Yeah, I've got the Modernas, the T-72S, the T-72M, so I think they've kind of picked themselves the tanks, but I've also got my T-55AM2 Dyna ones, pretty similar to that other deck, the last deck I did, mainly again for those 2,800 meter guided missiles.
I just give those style points because I think they look really cool.
Yeah. They do look pretty nice, yeah. You're right. On to the Recon then, and Silver, what have you got in your Recon?
First thing I got was the BP VZ Sneza with its exceptional optics, but with an autocannon.
Okay.
For hiding in a tree. I then got the infantry specialized Jiangxi 90s in MI-25s. Again, I know you're hating me for this Vulcan. But I got 2 stacks of these. These are very good forward front line infantry, and especially backed up by MI-25s. They'll do pretty well. And then I've also got Munzi. I can't pronounce these. With the sniper rifle and just a regular 10-man infantry squad as well.
Yeah, they're great because they're a 10-man squad that has a Dragunov. Like, that is just so useful.
Good for going through forests and scouting and everything like that. Whereas
great for defending towns as well.
Whereas the JMOC 90s are very good for frontline fighting with everything they come with.
Okay, and Vulcan,
I have the Specialny Jednotkis in like OT-64As.
Yeah, much cheaper stuff than what I'm bringing it in.
Yeah. Just because they're a really good infantry squad, not quite as good as the Polish elite infantry, but nearly there. Then the Prus Komnisi have the Dragunov, so I have those as well. I like to use these along with my other infantry units because they provide that long range fire support with the sniper rifle, which is really, really useful for taking out like infantry squads. I have the OT-65RL, Exceptional Recon. The reason I actually take this instead of like anything armed is just because I prefer to have unarmed recon.
Yeah.
And it's also really fast, which I like.
Cool.
And then I have the Mi-2s as well. I think it's always important to have like helicopter recon on your deck, even if you might not even use it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good philosophy.
But they're so slow. Bit like those plane choppers I got in the last deck.
But how line of sight works in the game, very good recon in the air is like twice as effective as very good recon
on the ground. Yeah, sure. I've got 3 sets of the Specialny Jed, whatever that is, Jednots, all at elite, and I can use these as basic infantry or as infantry in their own right, I think, as well as
So
recon
would you have
infantry.
290s and 1 regular, or 190s and 2 regular?
I've got all regular 25 pointers, so I can bring them in fairly cheaply. One in OTC 64s, one in MI8Ts, and one in a Tatra to bring something in really cheap if I need it.
How can you bring 3 stacks of those in?
Oh,
You can only get 2.
One of them must be a 90s.
Oh, sorry.
they
Hold
have
on. Oh, sorry. No, the one in the Tatra is a 90. Sorry, I didn't even realise I did that. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, I'll keep them anyway. I'm always making mistakes, but there you go. There's another one. And I've also got the same as Silver. I've got the BPZV Snezva with the auto cannon. Again, I was for a long time. I was thinking, well, don't get any recon, exactly the same as Vulcan with weapons, because you don't want them spotted and stuff. But some of the recon in Wargame Red Dragon actually does have quite good weapons, so I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit for some of the decks, but not for all of them. But I like the autocannon on this. If it gets into trouble, it can shoot at helicopters and stuff. If it gets
the only one that I
out.
would give an exception to is the Marder. The Marder Recon is really good because it has an autocannon that is brilliant. And alongside that Recon, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But, that's why but that's the only one I would really probably buy for in an attacking sense.
Yeah. What about the choppers? So some of the choppers are good, aren't they? The recon choppers have got good weapons.
They're too expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I think of guns as a way to defend themselves in case someone manages to sneak around them. Though I guess then we can't really sneak up on a recon squad, can you?
No.
Let's move on. Okay. Anything else about the recon?
Nope.
Let's move on to the vehicles then. Vulcan, what have you got for your vehicles?
I got the SHM V82 Pram S.
Yeah, when I saw these, I'm just like, yes, these have everything, basically.
They're mortars, aren't they, basically? But they only have 2,450 meter range for mortars, which isn't very long, but it's still really, really useful. Then they're
direct fire mortars, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Then you have a Conker's missile that's 20 AP power, which is really nice to have. And then the machine gun, of course, for if you're going to be getting close to anything, which you probably shouldn't
get so
be.
many.
It's just that you get, exactly, 16 of them on a card. And they're only 40 points each. So,
well, 16 times 60 rounds is quite a lot.
You can spam the hell out of these in order to assault towns and other strong points, like in forests and stuff. So yeah, that's what they're really useful. And I also have a card of flame tanks. That is it.
Of course.
Okay, cool. Silver?
I just got the prams.
Okay, I've got the flame tanks this time, which I shall probably completely forget about in the game, the TOW 55.
Don't worry, we'll help you.
Okay, and I've also got the Conkers for a bit of defence if I need to stick them in trees anywhere. I didn't get the prototype prams, unfortunately. I didn't even notice them, but I'm going to stick with my Conkers now. I'm not going to swap them out. So let's move on to the helis. Silver, I think you're on this one. What have you got for your helis?
The Mi-25 S24 with its 10 HE power rockets.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it, yeah?
No, I also got the Mi-35.
Okay, cool. Vulcan,
I have one card of each as well.
Yeah, I thought you might have something similar.
One thing I found interesting about the S4 is that it had only 4 rockets, and it's got the 4 rocket pods, but it looks like it has multiple rockets in those rocket pods instead of one big rocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought that. It's like you have 4 of them, and they should be separate. It's modeled wrong. They should be rocket tubes, not rocket pods.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got the Mi-35 attached as my kind of main attack chopper with the beautiful Kokon missiles that we all like so much. I didn't get the Mi-25Ss for some reason, and for some unknown reason, I got 2 sets of Mi-4s for spamming and flying completely and destroying everything at the end of the game. There you go.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah!
I thought I'd see the day.
These things are ridiculous. This looks almost like if a bird lands on one side of those rocket pods, the whole thing would just tip over.
Yeah.
They're great, these things.
They look
I love them.
so derpy, and they're just terrible.
Oh,
They do
honestly,
have a strength of 6. They have a strength
honestly,
of 6.
I've spammed these before, and once they get flying over a region, they'll just take everything out.
Yeah, I guess.
Until they run out of ammo, and they've got 80 rockets each. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of firepower.
It is.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't bring them out like willy nilly. I'd bring them out kind of all at once or not at all, basically.
The Mi-25 S24, though, I think it's one of the vehicles or like helicopters that makes the Czech deck really powerful. I think the 240mm rockets are incredibly useful. Like literally one of those takes out an infantry squad if it hits. Because it's got 10 HE power. Like if that hits a squad, it blows up. It's like dead unless the squad has 15 people in the squad. That's what makes them so strong.
Cool. So let's move on, after my disastrous choppers, onto the aircraft.
I think Vulcan starts this one.
Yeah, I got the Su-22 M4s.
Yeah,
three
I've got
of
them.
these 1,000 kilogram bombs. You know, they are just
devastating,
incredible. You can't really ignore 1,000 kilogram bombs. I just really like them. Then I have the MiG-23 MLs. I think these are the best anti-air you can get on this deck. You can, of course, get the MiG-29 912As, but the reason I get the MiGs in this case is because I like having the availability, and I'm actually bringing them in at Elite. So I have 3 of them at Elite, and with the infrared missiles and the radar missiles, they fire really, really fast, and they pretty much, get the kills the majority of the time. Then I have the MiG-29 912As as well, but these, like the variant that you get on the Czechs, actually come with napalm bombs.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So, that's what makes them good in this case. So I have them for that. And then I have a card of Su-25Ks. And although they don't necessarily get used too often because they're, not
slow.
Great. Yeah, they're really slow. They can be really useful at picking off tanks and getting away with it because they have armor, and that makes like radar missiles do a significant amount less damage.
Yeah.
So that's
also those
can make that really
11
useful.
HE power rockets.
Yeah. It stuns anything, kills everything it goes to kill. Basically, it's pretty much an assured kill if you can keep your recon there in order to keep a line of sight on your target.
Right.
Cool. Okay. Silver.
I've also got the Su-25Ks. I've got the MiG-29 with the napalm variant. I've also got the Su-22Ms with their 2,000 kilogram bomb. And I've even got Delphins, the napalm version. I've got lots of flame. Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
But
I don't like the Delphins.
Well, you could get 5 of them. I could just drop napalm in selected region. But
Why would you need 2 napalm planes?
For more fire, of course.
I mean, the thing they're very, very cheap, the Dolphins, but they're basically almost dead before they take off, I think, sometimes.
Well, you might hate me for this, but I do have an anti-helicopter plane. It's the Avia S-105, 40 point with the rocket pods for helicopters.
I actually quite like these. I've seen them be used quite a lot in the tactical game modes. When you have like a limited amount of points.
Yeah.
These are actually really strong because they can pick off helicopters that a lot of people use in those.
Expensive helicopters that are 2 or 3 times the price of these. Exactly.
Yeah. So they're really, really useful for that. I'll tell you one thing that I wish was in the Czech deck that isn't anymore. In Airland Battle, I think, they had a Delphin that could drop smoke. It had smoke rockets.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it fired smoke in like a line. and made like a massive smoke wall like instantly.
Yeah.
And I really wish that they'd brought that over into Red Dragon. I think they actually removed it from, they changed it in Airland Battle. They actually removed the smoke rockets.
I think they did,
But I really
yeah.
wish that they had kept that, because it was a really interesting mechanic. It made the Delphins really, really useful. I think I made a video once where I actually used the Delphins to create smoke walls for my infantry, which is just, it just looks so awesome. it's just really cool. And it's really something that I think's missing from the game still.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, I never actually played European Escalation or Airland Battle, so I'll just have to take your word for this. But it sounds awesome.
Yeah, definitely was.
I mean, as far as my aircraft in this deck are concerned, I've got pretty much the same MiG-23ML, I've got the MiG-29-912A and the Su-22M4, exactly the same. And I've also got the Avia S-105 as well as an anti-helicopter plane. So I haven't done too bad there after all. So I think that's it for this deck build, and we've only got one thing left to do, and that's to choose our favourite unit. I know exactly what I'm going for this time, but who wants to go? Shall I go first this time?
Yeah, you go first this time.
Yeah, I'm going for the T-72M2 Moderna. Fantastic attack tank.
Big surprise.
Yeah, that's my boy there. What are you guys going to go for? Silver?
You go ahead.
Vulcan?
I think I'm probably going to go with the Mi-25S24. Yeah, mainly because I really like how much damage those 240mm rockets can do.
Yeah.
I just think it makes it such a, like, makes this deck really, really strong, having that 240mm rocket capability on a helicopter. I think that's really, really strong.
All right, there's not a lot left for you now, Silver. What are you going to go for?
The Ondavas, of course.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Loving the artillery.
Yeah, I just love the Dondas and the Ondavas. Just way back, they've never disappointed me, like I said.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's it for this deck. Thanks very much again, Silveraptor, and thank you, Vulcan, for coming and doing yet another video with us guys.
A pleasure.
Please do check out his channel, Vulcan HD Gaming, link in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Please do comment, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.